TCT presents Public Report, a look at the issues and events of importance to our viewing area. Now, here is your host.
And welcome to another episode of Public Report. I'm your host, Bishop Henry Phillips, and I'm excited about this next 30 minutes because there is an oasis in Southern Illinois, or at least the possibility of an oasis coming to the West Frankfort, should I say, Illinois area. And there's some incredible movers and shakers that have a vision for this community region to bring some new development and to attract a lot of clientele to their area. We have with us a Mr. J. Scott Williams, as well as Tom Joyner, who is the mayor of West Frankfort. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming and being with us. You have a vision. You have a great vision for this area. There's a lot of development that has happened between, I'm sure, the Mount Vernon and Marion, Illinois, but you all will not be left out of the equation. So now you're coming forth and making public your vision and your strategy for the West Frankfort, Illinois area. What is that vision?
We would like to build an oasis. We're in a unique area. It's like an hourglass. All of the big cities to the north, they funnel through here, this stretch of interstate between Mount Vernon and Marion, and go to the big cities to the south. And we would like to capitalize on that traffic. It's a economic resource. There's 35,000 vehicles a day travel through there. And if you put 2 people per, that's 70,000. Wow. That's a tremendous resource.
Wow.
We would like to build an oasis so that they can have a place to get off, find refreshment, get fuel, and then eventually expand out that oasis to other shops, offices, hotels, restaurants. The oasis itself will be 3 buildings. One is the main building on the bridge, which on the first floor we'll have, say, an upscale restaurant. The second floor would be a convention area under a vaulted pyramid roof. And each end of that would be flanking shops and offices. And then the 2 exterior buildings would be on the first floor your fast food restaurants, welcome centers, tourism kiosks. The second floor would be shops and offices again. Now these main shops and offices in the oasis would be for the goods and services that you can find throughout the river-to-river region. Now every county, every community, every little village has something unique to offer. And these 35,000 vehicles a day, 70,000 potential persons are going past, and they don't know what's beyond the white line.
Right.
They pass Wren Lake, they say, okay, it's a lake. They go through a wooded area and say, oh, great. Well, they don't know it's the Shawnee National Forest that goes from river to river. And they don't know all of the uniqueness of the area.
West Frankfort, what is the history around it? And that's my first question. And second, is it an industrial area? Is it a bedroom community? What kind of community is it? So what's the history around it, and what kind of community is it today? Because we're hearing where you want to take that community. So what is the history of West and I'm sorry because I pass it every time I come to Marion, West Frankfort community. What has been the environment of that community?
West Frankfort has its roots deep into the coal mining. We've had 8 coal mines in and around West Frankfort proper. And then from there on out, the whole area has been in the mining industry. And because we've been so tied to one industry, the saying is, every time a coal mine opens, we go from depression to recession. And every time a coal mine closes, we go back to depression. So we would really like to start tying ourselves into other offerings, other reasons to keep our youth here. I mean, we've had an exodus of youth. Yeah, if you went off to college, if you wanted to come back and work in the coal mines, you had a job. If you wanted to come back and take your education and apply it, there was nothing here for you. So we're wanting to open up opportunity for our students so they no longer leave the area and never come back.
And so you're launching a commercial kind of culture where businesses and commercial businesses and what have you can come and start businesses there, and people from, like you said, down 57 will be able to stop, and tourists can stop and get their food, their shopping, and other businesses that they may want to do in your community. Am I correct on that?
Yes. Beyond the Oasis, the Southwest Bypass, which we refer to as the Burlington route, it was a railroad route there. And in that area, it gives us a mile stretch, and a mile on each side gives you 2 miles to develop. That's 22 to 35 new businesses that could develop there. And the jobs that go with it, you know, it's hundreds of construction jobs, putting in the infrastructure, building each of the developments, hundreds of construction jobs in all of the trades for years. It won't happen overnight. It'll take years for it all to develop. And then as it develops, you're talking 500 to 1,000, possibly 2,000 jobs that are long-term permanent jobs, which we desperately need in this area. Our unemployment is always been high, and it's high right now, and we need to bring it down and get it into control and diversify out of the coal industry.
Again, how many, you know, somebody from West Frankfort will say, well, you know, why do we need this? We're a small community, and we've been together like this and what have you. But there is a major coal mine on Highway 57 that needs to be horned out and brought to the surface. How many people are trafficking Highway 57 again that you stated?
If you put 2 people per vehicle, there's about 70,000 a day.
70,000.
Every day.
Wow.
10,000 of those are trucks. That if you take all of the truck stops from I-64 to I-24, and all of those spots fill up very early in the day. Then they start filling the rest areas. Then they start filling the ramps, which is a safety issue. And we need to give them a place to get off, because when their logbook says time's up, you need to get off, they have to have some place to do it. We want to give them that, and then they would be then also potential customers for all the goods and services we would offer, because they're not going to get off and just pull their truck off and that's it. They like getting out of their truck. I've got a lot of friends that are truckers, and they say, we love destination truck stops. It's not just a truck stop that offers one place to fuel up and one place to eat. We like to do we live on the road. We like to do our Christmas shopping, our anniversary shopping, our birthday shopping. So we do all of our shopping while we're on the road. That's when we have the opportunity to do it. So we look
home away from home.
Yes, we look for places to maximize on when we have to stop. We can do our family business or our own personal shopping.
What is the population in West Frankfort?
About 8,200.
8,200, and so this will really bring a strong revenue base and really change the culture of the community, because where it may have been somewhat private and exclusive, it's going to now have a sector to it where others can come and be involved with that. Do you think the community is open for a change of such?
I think you make a real good point about change, because I think if we don't change our community, if it won't change our dynamics, then we're going to continue down a path of economic destruction, because West Frankfort started out as a fort, and the people gathered around the fort, and the gentleman that built the fort's name was Frank. So Frank Jordan, just the ancestor of mine, but anyway, it was Frank's Fort. The railroad came in several miles away. Then people gravitated towards the railroad. And you had 2 communities. You had Frankfort, and then you had a community that was gathering by the railroad. They called that west of Frank's Fort.
Oh, wow.
So the town became West Frankfort. So now we're probably in another transformation gravitating towards the interstate. We have a shopping center out there, and we do have a business incubator out there. And so I think if we're going to grow, we need to do, again, what our ancestors did and utilize the transportation as it comes through. Scott's got a great idea. I think that, it's not going to potentially change the community, but it'd be a great tool and a great asset to give us an economic base so we can grow. We're still going to be a hometown with, that loves its basketball teams and its high school football and things like that. But as we can bring in a little bit of income from the tax base that this is going to generate and see it grow, I think it will change ultimately some of our attitudes, I guess. But hopefully, we'll still have the hometown pride and
between the job creation and the revenue enhancement, I think it will actually enhance the town as it is. It's somewhat separate from the town as to how it's going to lay out. So it's going to give the town the privilege of and the opportunity to have jobs and to bring their youth back home after they've gone off to school, and also then generate revenue that helps support the goods and services throughout the entire town.
One of the questions that I'm sure a resident may ask is that, has development of this kind been successful for other communities on the 57 highway? And your answer to them would be what?
I would think it would be the two towns you mentioned at the beginning of the show, Marion and Mount Vernon. Look at how that they have been able to tap into that resource and to grow. And that growth has not been something that's hurt the community, but it's greatly contributed to the community. And the same way as Mount Vernon. I think that they've got another exit up there. They're building a new hospital. And I think that a lot of this stuff is made possible by that exchange that they have and the growth that they've seen around that economic base that taps into these people that are driving by. I know when I travel, we basically stop at the same places. If you're going to see the kids, you drive to this point and you start looking for the same area. And so this would be, like Scott says, a destination someone could place on their GPS and say, we're going to go here. It's got a nice place to stop. We can get out and walk around. And I think it would really